And what I want you to do is think, how can I do 1% more than the average person is willing to do? And that's where your success lies. It's not in doing more, but it's in doing better. So do the thing you know you need to do and do it better. Success is the least sexy thing in the world. And in this episode, I'm going to tell you exactly why. You know, I was chatting with one of my friends a couple days ago, and we were talking a lot about lifestyle marketing on Instagram. And listen, a lot of my marketing is lifestyle marketing, but I give you the sauce and I give you the tea when you really dive deeper. You dive into the caption, you watch my free trainings, you listen to my podcast. So this episode is really the sauce, the tea, the behind closed doors, and why success is actually really boring. So, you know, I was talking to someone a couple days ago, a potential new client, and she was like, all I want is to travel the world and do all these things. And I just brought myself back, you know, a couple years ago, and I wanted those things too. And I thought that it would just come so easy, right? Because everyone makes it look so easy on social media. But the truth is, it's not easy. And I wish more people were talking about how success really lies in the mundane. And I think the reason why people think success is so easy, or it's going to come so simple, or it's going to come overnight, is because when you see someone get rich quick, or you see someone become an overnight success, it's because they have a graveyard of failures behind them and they have years of compound interest. And I wish more influencers, more creators, and more business owners were talking about the power of compound interest in your business. So we typically hear about compound interest in real estate, right? You think, oh, you know, I'm going to invest in this house and it's going to grow in value and I'm going to get money every month. It's going to compound, or in an investment account, right? Investing in the stock market. But what about the compound interest of you staying focused and doing the same thing over and over and over again? Because at the end of the day, true success and wealth is built through playing the long-term game. So for example, a lot of people are seeing me now grow my business and scale my business so fast. And a lot of people keep DMing me like, Giulia, how are you doing it? What's the secret? What's the sauce? And all I want to say is, where were you these past 2 years when I had my head down and I was so focused and I wanted to give up and I wanted to quit? Why weren't you asking me then? You only want to see it when it's on the outside. But the truth is, it's years of hard work compounded. Guys, just 3 years ago, I was on my hands and knees sifting through other people's junk in the middle of a pandemic to pay off my student debt and selling clothes on Poshmark. So those skills have now compounded to that same grit and discipline and motivation and humility that I now take into my business today. And it's such a humbling experience to look back and say, I was willing to do this because I am willing to do whatever it takes, no matter what is thrown at me. So when I received that letter that I was $25K in debt, right, a couple of years ago, I had that same mindset, that same energy, that same motivation that no matter what, I'm always going to do whatever it takes. And whatever it takes looks different now than it looked when I was selling my clothes on Poshmark. You see, if you're thinking that you're a failure, you're not. You're not a failure. You're just not focused. And the amount of times I see people on social media saying, do this thing, I did this much, or do this thing. Like, I literally train my sales team now, and I say, do not welcome people into our program. Do not invite people into our program if they're looking for something overnight, because this program takes time and this program takes hard work and it takes effort. Nothing is coming flying from the sky. The success is going to happen in the mundane tasks, in the daily activities. The success you see in the macro comes through the micro. So first thing I want you to do is I want you to zoom out. What does your daily routine look like? Are you waking up and scrolling on social media? Because that's going to compound the same way it would if you are waking up and meditating. So I want you to really think about, where is the compound interest in my life right now? Is it compounding positively or is it compounding negatively? So first thing you got to look at is your habits. What are your habits? What are the things you're doing in the day to day? Do you give up when things get hard? So a couple months ago, I invested in a personal trainer and it's been such an amazing experience, and I've lost some weight and I'm more toned and all the amazing things that you typically get right when working with a personal trainer. But what's really profound from my investment in my personal trainer is how disciplined I've become and how much I've carried that discipline over to my business. I realized that I wasn't honoring the commitments to myself in my personal life. I was flaky with the gym. I wasn't 100% during my workouts, which bled into my business. I was flaky in my business. I wasn't showing up to the commitments that I made. I wasn't being in integrity. I was giving up when things got hard. And lifting weights has been one of the most amazing experiences for me because it's taught me to keep pushing when things get hard. A lot of people think that when things get hard, it's time to give up, right? We don't want pain. We move away from pain and towards pleasure. But what working at the gym has taught me is that the success and the results come from it being hard. It doesn't come from it being easy. And I've had to learn this the hard way through my personal trainer putting me in my place saying, no risk, no reward. If you're not going to push, you're not going to add on more weights, you're not going to keep going when it gets tough, you're not going to see the growth that you wanted. And I would have paid thousands of dollars for people to tell me that in the beginning. I would have paid thousands of dollars for people to tell me I was going to struggle with my mental health some days. I was going to struggle to get out of bed. I was going to have fire drills that made me feel like I should just burn the business to the ground and just give up. But I wish someone would have told me these are the moments that shape you. These are the moments that make you a better entrepreneur. So if you have problems, if you're dealing with difficulties in your personal life and your business, I want you to know that I'm proud of you and congratulations. Because if you're not seeing struggle, you're not seeing difficulty, your goals are too small and you're staying in your comfort zone. So the success that you want to see externally, right? The designer stuff, the travel, the luxury travel, the lifestyle marketing, that's not going to come unless you do the dirty work behind the scenes. Sexy sells. It's the truth. That's what lifestyle marketing is. But what's not going to sell is the truth. And that's why I want to have these conversations with you where we can go deeper on my podcast, on my YouTube channel, maybe in the captions of my posts. Because to the eye, right, it's captivating. But what about when you go one step deeper, you pull back the curtain? And that's why I love podcasting, because you can really see what's happening behind closed doors. You can get the full scope. You can really see that it's not all butterflies and rainbows. And this is something I've been talking about a lot on my Instagram stories lately too. So another big part about success and success being in the boring work is you got to cut out the fluff. There's probably a lot of things you're doing in your business that aren't bringing you results. You're not seeing profits. You're not seeing a return on your investment. And because of that, you have this weight on you. Because more does not mean better. Actually, when you're trying to scale, when you're trying to make more money, chances are you need to cut something out and you need to do the one thing better. And this is what I saw, that I was at a point where I was making 10K a month comfortably, then like 10, 15, 20K a month comfortably. And then I got my first 30, 40K a month. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. I didn't know how to rinse and repeat it. And I didn't know how to rinse and repeat it because there wasn't a system. It was a ton of fluff. It was a ton of throwing spaghetti at the wall. So what I did was I slimmed it down. And when I slimmed it down, I had to take a step backwards to go a step forwards. I had to cut the product suite. I had to cut the noise. I had to cut the team members that were putting a hole in my pocket. I had to cut through the noise. And I had to listen to myself and my intuition. Because the truth is, you know what you need to be doing, but your indecision is a decision not to do the thing. So when it's unclear and when you're unsure, I want you to take a step back. I want you to zoom out to 30,000 feet above. And I want you to ask yourself, if I were my coach, what would I say to myself? And that's what I ask myself every day. If I were my coach, what would I say to myself? I'm a business coach. I can help myself grow my business. But the hardest part is the shiny object syndrome, seeing what everyone's doing on Instagram. You know what you need to do. If you need to make more money, you need to make more sales. If you need to make more sales, you need to make more offers. If you need to make more offers, you need to talk to more people, more leads, more content, more people in your DMs. Business is very simple. And the reason why it's so hard is because it's simple. So if you think some sort of external success is the answer, you're very wrong, my friend. The answer lies within. You know what you need to do, but you want to just keep investing, or you want to just keep buying courses and not taking them, or you want to keep watching videos and podcasts, but you don't actually want to do the boring work. And the boring work is going to get you to where you want to be. And the last thing I want to leave you with is that you have to be willing to do the work no one else is willing to do. The things that people are going to say, you're crazy, you're obsessed. So when you think of the best athletes, they watch their tapes over and over again, practicing 10 to 12 hours a day. And everyone else wants to call them crazy. But do they think that? No way. They cut through the noise. And that's what I started doing on social media. Everyone's like, oh, you're going to burn out posting 2 to 3 times a day. Oh, you're going to this, oh, you're going to that. Do you have the results that I want? Because the people that have the results that I want are posting 250 times a week. Yeah, maybe they have the budget, and yeah, maybe they have the team. So I'm going to do as much as I can with what I have. Because the real way to outwork your competition is to do what they're not willing to do. And chances are it's just 1% more. It's really not that much. So if everyone here is posting 3 to 4 times a week and they think that's enough and they want to make their posts that you don't have to post every day, you don't have to post 2 times a week, great. More room for me to grow. More room for me to stand out. So you need to think in your own context. And this is the thing about content. And I think this is why people take it out of hand sometimes. When you watch a piece of content, you need to ask yourself, how does this apply to me and how does this apply to my life? Because everyone's different, right? I don't have children. I don't have a family. I'm not just working a job 9 to 5. So you need to think about how this piece of content can apply to your context. And what I want you to do is think, how can I do 1% more than the average person is willing to do? And that's where your success lies. It's not in doing more, but it's in doing better. So do the thing you know you need to do and do it better. That's it for this episode. Would mean the world to me if you could share this with a friend. Share this with a friend, share it in your story. Send me a DM on Instagram. I love hearing from you guys after you listen to the podcast, and I will see you next week for the next episode.